Are you looking to relocate to Park City, Utah? In today's video, I am talking about Jeremy Ranch versus Pinebrook. Let's break down these two neighborhoods, what makes them different, and which one should you consider living in. First off, we want to know where Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook is located. Well, Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook are basically like twin sisters. Jeremy Ranch is located right across from Woodward Park City, and Pinebrook is located just on the other side of it, so it's actually next to Woodward Park City. Pinebrook definitely has steeper, more rolling hills. It's a little bit more heavily pine tree. It definitely has a lot more pine trees and heavy trees. It has a similar feel to Summit Park because you are on the same side as Summit Park, whereas Jeremy Ranch has a very neighborhood feel. So as you can see, that whole area is Jeremy Ranch on the north side of I-80. As we zoom out, the south side, this is all Pinebrook. And as you can see over to the left there, that's Summit Park, and over farther right is going to be the Kimball Junction area. So this whole section right here is all of Pinebrook. Pinebrook is huge. You've got Ecker Hill Middle School over here, which is the middle school. You've also got Woodward Park City on this side of the I-80, and Jeremy Ranch is on the other side of the I-80. You've got Jeremy Ranch Elementary School. You also have Jeremy Ranch Golf Course. From this overhead view, you can kind of see, oh, there's Kimball Junction. You're super close. You're probably about 8 minutes from Kimball Junction. And if you continue going this way, you're going to hit Summit Park, and then you'll eventually go down to Salt Lake. So now we're looking more at where Pinebrook lies and where Summit Park lies, and that little canyon there is called Tollgate Canyon. This is all of Pinebrook. So you've got the frontage road, which is where Woodward Park City is, and Pinebrook is sort of on Woodward Park City. So we're going to take the little 3D guy. We're going to drop right down into one of the neighborhoods over here so that you can just get an idea of what Pinebrook looks like from a Google view. I recommend doing this, especially if you're out of state and you're trying to figure out what a neighborhood looks like, because it's amazing. You can just take the little person, you can drop it on the street, and boom, you're there. It's like you're looking at it. As you can see, it's very mountainy. These hills are a little bit steeper than Jeremy Ranch. Jeremy Ranch is slightly flatter and has a lot more speed bumps. Pinebrook is absolutely beautiful, and the higher up you go, the more mountainy it gets, and the more snow you'll get, and the more Summit Park you'll get. However, the homes over here are absolutely gorgeous. As we spin around here, you'll see there's Gargoza Park where the sledding hill is. Now, if we drop over onto the other side of I-80, this whole area is Jeremy Ranch. So we're going to take the little guy, we're going to drop in. I kind of want to drop in towards the back 9 here and give you sort of golf course views, right? So not as many trees, like it's a mature neighborhood, but definitely not as many trees. It's not quite as mountainy, definitely more sagebrushy. Everyone that has trees has brought in the landscaping, has planted the trees themselves, and the trees and the landscaping have just been here forever, but it's not the natural landscape. It's not as mountainy as Summit Park or Pinebrook. It's a lot flatter and you have more speed bumps. So the difference really between Pinebrook and Jeremy Ranch is that you get the Jeremy Ranch Country Club, the Golf Country Club, which used to run you $3,000, and now they're charging you $20,000. So it's still the most affordable place to have a country club membership in Park City if that is something that you love and you want to have access to a fitness center and a golf course. But if not, you can absolutely live in this neighborhood and not be a part of it. You could also live in any neighborhood in Park City or wherever you want and buy a membership to this country club. You don't have to just live in Jeremy Ranch to be a member of it. So that would be the biggest difference, I say, between Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook. As you can see, the homes here are really beautiful as well. I mean, most of them are going to be 20 to 30 years old, but they're very large, they're beautiful, and they're definitely more on the mountainside. Unless you find one that's been completely redone, updated, and modernized, or somebody that owned a lot for a long time, bought the lot, and then finally built a spec home or built a home on it, and it's a little bit newer. So as we zoom out here, you can kind of see the overhead view. Jeremy Ranch is really big. It goes up into the mountain, and that whole trail that you're seeing kind of there is the Mormon Trail, which is where all the kind of LDS children go to do like their camping. You can see how close Salt Lake is from Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook and Summit Park. These are all areas, these are neighborhoods that are great if you are commuting to Salt Lake. And look, there's Salt Lake City International Airport. You're super close. You're probably 20 minutes from Salt Lake City International Airport if there's no traffic. And depending on how high up you live in the neighborhood, that also can play a part in it. Then you can see how close you are to the canyons, Deer Valley, and Old Town Park City. You've got tons of speed bumps. It's lots of people walking around, lots of kids riding their bikes. Definitely not as foresty. You don't get as much of a foresty vibe in Jeremy Ranch. Both of these areas are highly sought out areas, and they're great areas to choose, especially if you need to commute to Salt Lake. You're 20 minutes away from Salt Lake. So these are great areas to choose because it's probably gonna be running you anywhere from $1.8 million to $2.5 million to buy a house in these areas, and they're very similar. The reason that I absolutely love these areas is because you have a grocery store and a gas station that is super close to you. Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook are actually located in the Snyderville Basin. So to get to the ski areas such as Canyons or Park City or Deer Valley, it would probably take you 30 minutes to get there. And if it was a holiday, it was a powder day, or it was a highly trafficked day, then I mean, sometimes it could take you anywhere from upwards of an hour to get there just because of how bad the traffic is if you don't leave early enough. If you're on top of your game and you leave at a decent hour, then it's not gonna take you an hour. But if you're a late starter and you're just not thinking straight that day, it could take you a really long time to get to the resort. So that's something to do your due diligence on. People generally choose these neighborhoods because they wanna be in the Park City School District and maybe they're still commuting down to Salt Lake. These areas are full of year-round residences. There are very few homes in both of these neighborhoods that actually house second home or vacation home type homeowners. It's generally a lot of locals that live in this area, and everybody is really friendly and loves living here. In each of these areas, you do have lots. You've got single family homes, there's condo options, and there's townhome options. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Like Jeremy Ranch, a condo runs you like $1.2 million. In Pinebrook, a condo also runs you probably $1.2 million to $1.6 million. Homes in this area are definitely probably 20 to 30 years old. So you might be buying a complete remodel. You might be buying something that actually needs a little bit of a facelift. But your price point for these areas, you're going to be spending about $2 million at least for these areas. Another area that's a really great option that's sort of considered the Pinebrook area is a new development called Discovery Ridge. Some people are turned off because they look at it on a map and it looks really close to the freeway. However, if you could pick something that's really tucked up and nestled back in there in the trees, it's really beautiful, and you're getting a new construction, brand new home for $2 million as opposed to buying something that's $2 million that you're going to have to put $500,000 into to make it the way that you want it. Absolutely am a huge fan of Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook. I mean, I grew up in Summit Park, if that gives you any idea. So it was like cabiny, foresty, totally heavily wooded. Jeremy Ranch in Pinebrook was like where all of my friends lived when I grew up, and so I always loved going over to Jeremy Ranch and Pinebrook. Big homes, it's a great place to live, it's a great place to call home, it's a great place if you're looking to relocate here and you still need to commute to Salt Lake City. My name's Nicole Bowdle, I'm a local real estate agent in Park City, Utah. If you wish to contact me about more information regarding Park City and the real estate and the surrounding areas, my information is always dropped down in the description link down below.